10. If you're out on a date and you're bringing home late, it's a sin.
Coach's Corner with Coach Heck and the infamous Coach Patrick King. You're stuck with me, man.
I'm stuck.
You are stuck with me. I ain't going anywhere.
There's a lot of people that are jealous of me for sitting here, and there's some people that there's a little sympathy going on at the same time.
There's more people that are sympathetic to you. I'm just saying that much right now. Ron, you know you're second in the state in tees.
When I go talk to Turkovich at the scores
Get a
table,
picture.
I said, get as many pictures as you can.
And you ain't that good. The scouting report said you were pretty good. You ain't that good. Oh, man. Are you kidding me? Man.
Oh boy!
Here we are, man.
Welcome. We're up in the Crow's. What's this called? The Crow's Nest.
It's called the Crow's Nest at the Cave.
I haven't been over here in a couple of years.
At Mishawaka High School, second oldest gym in the state, or second oldest active gym in the state of Indiana. I got to do a game tonight, Mishawaka against South Bend Clay. So we figured we would take our show on the road.
Sure, we're a road show this week.
No, I mean
this
we're
is
just
fun.
You're so good at setting this stuff up and knowing how to do this. This is actually kind of cool. We should plan this maybe a little more often. Maybe go to another gym
Get out
when
on
there's
the road
another
and
game,
go. Sure,
or something like that. But yeah, so we're in the Crow's Nest. First of all, before we get started, I know we want to talk about a couple of our major sponsors. As the music brought you in, you obviously the Black Sedan Band is in your mind, right?
Exactly.
I mean, I can't get it out of my mind.
Good stuff.
No, it's great stuff. Great stuff. We're not at Bar Louie's tonight, but we always talk.
We will be next week.
And we always talk about Bar Louie's,
sure.
man.
Good food, good place. They've taken good care of us.
Oh man, the number of TVs, I mean, just going in there, and the waitresses are great.
Summer takes care of us. She knows our menu, doesn't she?
Yeah, no, I don't even have to order anymore.
She just says same thing. Yes, sounds good. Thank you.
It's amazing. Let's talk about Tony Letcher for one quick second. Tony Letcher with Health Markets Insurance. Whether you need help with your health insurance or Medicare, you're on Medicare.
I am on Medicare.
Man,
we're trying. I mentioned last week. I have a phone call. I need to get a hold of him and figure out what we do for my wife between ages 62 and 65. If they're get some coverage for her so she can retire.
Yeah, I'm not on Medicare yet because I'm still on
you're still
School City insurance,
yeah.
But I will be shortly. It's time you get the right coverage for the right price. Call Tony today at 574-307-8882 or visit his website at tletcher.com. Han Funeral Home. Yeah, hey, Tony, what's up, man? There you are on the screen, man. Man, our producer, Scott, the great Scott King, he's on this stuff so quick, isn't he?
Well, and if you think about it, he could tell you. He just got in town. He's been on the road. Scott, Boris, where have you been today?
Started in the city of champions, Kansas City, and
I was going to say you should have got us some T-shirts that said
came back to the city of living in the past, Dallas, and then went to Denver, and then came back to Dallas.
Okay,
oh, man.
So here I am.
There you are.
Your brother-in-law's up in Colorado skiing at his place there in Breckenridge right now. Steve's up there snow skiing at his condo.
And you have your World Series Texas Ranger T-shirt on, right, man?
Of course.
Really cool. Hey, what about Han Funeral Home, man? The loss of a loved one can leave you with lots of unanswered questions and stress. At Han Funeral Homes of Mishawaka, they're there to help you. Their focus has always been on the families. The great people, Pat Hahn, the owner of Hahn Funeral Home, located at 505 West A Street in downtown Mish. Call them if you need them at any time, 574-255-1474. They are wonderful, wonderful people, and those times are always, always very difficult. And if you ever get involved or you need the people at Hahn Funeral, give them a call. They are the best. So what a great day for football yesterday, right?
It was a fun day. Fantastic. You had the Kansas City game going into Baltimore, which people had high expectations for that one. and probably 50-50 on who was going to win. I think everybody was really – there was a group that was really surprised that Kansas City did as well as they did.
Well, so I'm gonna tell you one thing. I thought Baltimore really hurt themselves just by some stupid play, some stupid, like penalties, and one specific play, Zay Flowers, they threw. I mean, great completion, maybe a 55-yard pass. He gets up, he taunts the defensive back.
That's uncalled for.
I mean, they have the ball at the 6-yard line, and they're struggling to score anyway. They got the ball first down at the 6. He taunts the defensive back, just acts stupid, and gets a flag. So now the ball gets moved back 15 yards.
They're back at the 20 instead of 5 or 6.
Yeah, and then it's poetic justice because he goes in to score. And he fumbles.
That's right.
He fumbles.
Reaches out too far, tries to do, to me, there's a part of me that think, that reaching out is a good thing, but it's also selfish.
Well, it exposes you so much.
To me, it's a little selfish. It's saying, I want to score. Where, especially if it's a first or second down. Now, if it's a third down, maybe. But if it's first or second down, get to the 1-yard line, get on the ground, let's score on the next play.
Yeah, and so, I mean, Zay Flowers, had a great game. He had 5 receptions for 115 yards, 23-yard average. But just that play,
timely stuff.
Yeah, just that play of bringing the attention to me.
Right.
I mean, that's what you're supposed to do.
That's what it was.
You're supposed to make that catch.
Yes.
You're supposed to make it. But now the attention's on me. I'm going to punk you out a little bit on national TV, and I'm so glad they threw the flag on that.
Well,
I didn't have a dog in that game anyway.
No. The thing I was in just general, and I haven't really looked at the statistics, but I think everybody will agree with me. It was a bad day for Lamar Jackson to have a bad day.
Yeah, and when you talk about a bad day, he was 20 for 37 for 272, a TD and an interception. But he's the front runner for the MVP. In the National Football League this year.
I totally agree, and I think people were expecting him to do in that game what Mahomes did.
Well, let's face it. There's only one Patrick Mahomes.
And he's doing awfully well. Isn't that impressive? I think they said he's 28 years old. He's the same age as Scott.
Yeah,
he's getting ready for his 5th or 6th Super Bowl.
He's getting ready for, I think it's his 3rd Super Bowl.
3rd in a row.
He's been 2 in a row, 3rd overall.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's been in the AFC Championship game all 6 years.
That's
he's been in the league.
Okay.
He's 30 for 39, 241, 1 TD, no interceptions. But he just makes plays, whether he's making plays with his legs, or he's stepping up into the pocket to give himself a throwing lane. He just makes plays, and of course. Now I know we have a new segment here, but I think Scott should maybe put in a new segment called the Chicago Bears segment because Patrick Mahomes should have been doing all of this with the Bears.
Right. That's a good point.
I mean,
you got Mitch Trubisky. Who's the real winner?
Yeah, I'd like to. When I hear that name, I want to throw up, to be honest with you.
Lord.
But and the Bears they move up.
Mm-hmm.
They move up to draft Mitch Trubisky. And Mahomes is sitting there.
Left Mahomes.
Deshaun Watson is sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
And Patrick Mahomes. Here's the deal. And here's a good question for you. Is Patrick Mahomes, okay, we know he's that good. Is the reason he's Super Bowl, AFC Championship that good because of who he's playing for, Andy Reid?
Good question. I know that the people we're talking today, they're saying, Andy Reid's challenging Belichick for status now as far as big games because he has won as many big games as Belichick has.
Well, he hadn't won as many Super Bowls yet.
But he's getting there. You're right.
He's getting there, but if you put Patrick Mahomes in the Bear culture with, I don't know, Matt Nagy, who was their head coach at the time.
Where is he?
Yeah, he's the offensive coordinator for the Chiefs.
Where are the Bears right now?
Yeah, no, it's
6 years later.
Exactly, but is it? Andy Reid. Obviously, Andy Reid's a great coach. So I think that whole deal goes hand in hand.
Right.
I don't think that Pat Mahomes has all the success, although I think he's going to have some success if he's in Chicago.
I think it's a good package. Now, that second game you had, I mean, what a surprise. Detroit comes out and just smacks San Francisco right in the mouth first half.
Yeah.
Well, that was fun to watch.
Just played really
That
well.
was fun to watch.
And so now they're, the announcers are talking about halftime, and they're saying San Francisco got to come out and they got to score.
What kind of changes
they got to go
have to
down
make?
the field and blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the deal, and I want to throw this by you. So Kyle Shanahan, his team takes it down the field with Mr. Irrelevant, by the way.
Right.
The last player selected in the draft, Brock Purdy. That goes to show you how much the draft experts know about who they're drafting.
Yeah, I totally agree. And one of the commentators made the statement: if you would have had a parlay on Brock Purdy having 50 yards rushing in the second half, you'd been rich.
Yeah, no, I know.
Because think of the plays he made
with
in the second half. Breaking, out of the pocket, getting some runs, and he didn't slide. He went head first.
No,
he went ahead and took some hits too.
And it's not like he's Justin Fields.
Oh, no,
he's not that athletic.
No,
he's just really, really, really smart. But back to my point about Kyle Shanahan. So I don't know. They're it's maybe 4th down and 2 or whatever, 4th down and 3. He doesn't go for it. He takes the field goal.
Mm-hmm.
So now instead of being down 17, they're down 14.
Right.
All he wanted was to get some points. And
he didn't
feel
panic.
good.
He didn't panic. He knew he had
feel
2 quarters.
Good.
Yep. Well, and that's
but
the whole thing. The second half was just a totally different game.
Yeah, but then Campbell from the Lions on 4th down from the 23 and from the 30, there's 6 more points.
Right. I know. But
he goes for it.
He's done that all year. And that's if you have followed the Lions and if John Overmeyer gets on here, he will tell you that's what they've done all year. The people that have not watched Detroit, they're thinking, what's he doing?
No, I know. Points.
Take the points.
Points.
Yes. Where he's going for it. His statistics, his analytics were saying we're going to go for it because they've been successful going for it.
Well, he was definitely wrong in that aspect.
And they mentioned if they would have made those 2 first downs, right now people would be talking about how much of a genius he is, how brave he is, all this stuff like that.
I know.
Again, it's one of those things. It's like a 3-pointer. If you make it, great. If you miss it, what are you shooting that for?
No.
They had one of them converted.
Yeah,
the guy just dropped it.
And the receivers
they
Reynolds.
They dropped passes second half.
I don't know what Reynolds is thinking, but he can't catch a cold right now.
Yeah, looked like maybe did Kansas City give him whatever those receivers?
I don't know, but my point being is, and maybe Campbell knew this. Maybe knew that he could not stop. Detroit could not stop San Francisco.
Maybe he's thinking to himself, we can't win going 3 at a time.
Yes. Yeah. And he's probably right. Because they couldn't stop him.
No, they couldn't. Second half.
Not in the second
Christian
half.
McCaffrey was just fantastic, which, that's what they brought him in from Carolina for. And as you said, Brock Purdy was making plays.
Yeah. So right towards the end of the game, when McCaffrey almost gets in the end zone, I don't know if you watched the whole game. I don't know if Scott saw the game, but McCaffrey got hit.
You see him get bounced on his head, didn't he?
Right, and you could just see his neck compress.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't think he played the rest of the game in an offensive series because they just had some kneel downs and one carry after that.
But they even mentioned that whoever went in the game for him, that was the first play he'd played the whole game. They gave him the ball and he scored.
Yeah.
So he can walk around and say, I scored a touchdown.
Elijah Mitchell.
Yep. And they showed the sideline. McCaffrey, they had their trainer was over there working on his shoulders, looked like they're trying to pull his head out of his shoulders.
Well, I'm just saying
he got his head jammed.
No, I'm just saying that. That was a harder hit than they really talked about.
Yeah.
And that was almost a dangerous scenario.
I bet he doesn't practice till about Wednesday or Thursday. I bet he takes this week off.
Because it's a 2-week deal.
I bet he takes it easy this week.
Yeah. So now we have the Super Bowl set, man, in Las Vegas, Kansas City, San Francisco.
And
Who do you want to see win?
well, and the one thing I was going to mention, back in August when all this started, if you would have put people in a corner and said, all right, who are your two teams in the Super Bowl? There's a lot of people that had the 49ers and the Chiefs before anybody,
Without question.
before even the first exhibition game. They
Without,
had these two
without
teams.
question.
So are we really surprised it's these two teams? I say no.
No, I say no. I say I would have liked and seen the Philadelphia Eagles continue their 10-1 dominance the way they started out.
Right.
But then at the end, they were zip. If they fired they fired both coordinators.
Mm-hmm.
They're firing assistant coaches like it's a fire sale. And defensively they're going to be great next year. They
like I said,
got Vic Fangio coming over
right.
from Miami. And they got Kellen Moore coming over from the Los Angeles Chargers as their OC.
Tampa Bay was a success story here at the end of the season. The Browns were a success story.
Yeah, but I would have never. Me personally, I would never have figured Tampa Bay with Baker Mayfield.
No,
They went
as far as they went as far as they were supposed to go.
Yeah, and exceeded that. To be quite honest with you,
Houston was a success story this year.
Yeah, with a rookie quarterback
right.
and a first-time head coach.
And they went from worst to first, basically.
Yep.
The Colts were a success story.
Yeah, the Colts
losing AR that early in the year and to be, a couple plays away from the playoffs, I'd say that's a victory considering you didn't have your franchise rookie QB.
Well, if they would have won that last game against Houston, they would have been the number 4 team.
Yes, and hats off to Chris Ballard, the GM, because you bring in Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, and are they going to be able to keep Minshew? You need 2 quarterbacks now.
No,
obviously,
I know. And I don't think so. So I don't think Minshew is a prototypical backup. He's been a starter in the league for a lot of years.
Yeah. And he very well may go someplace and be a starter.
I think he's too volatile to be a everyday starter.
Yeah,
but
he'll grow
too much.
I think he's growing out of that, and some of it too. They're talking in Minnesota about Kirk Cousins asking some big numbers for a 2 or 3 year contract. And does Minnesota keep him in some stability, or do they go off and find somebody?
And what about and if you're talking about the NFC, the Cowboys, come on,
Cowboys, your Bears, what are they going to do?
Bears stink. The Bears stink.
Well, we already.
The Cowboys were good this year. The Bears stink.
I think it was last week we decided they were gonna keep Fields and go find some people to put around him.
Well, here's the deal. Okay, I love the Bears, and we should have a Bear segment as well as the Purdue segment. But after watching these quarterbacks, it's quarterback driven. I don't care what you say. It's quarterback driven. Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, and then you go with the guy from the Rams, or not the Rams, Jared Goff from the Lions.
But the thing is, they've given him somebody to work with. They've given him a running back. They've given him a couple wide receivers.
Yeah.
They've given him a tight end. They've got some sort of package around them. The Bears don't have that yet.
Yeah, but see, here's where I disagree with you, and I love disagreeing with you because then I always got to tell you to get back and get on Magic Mind. But the Packers, right. Jordan Love,
had a good season.
Yeah, okay, they got 4 no-name receivers, except for the one guy, Christian Watkins. They have a kid named Hicks. They got a kid named Bo Melton. They got 2 other guys I'd never heard of, and they just came in.
Made it work.
They have a system. They got a great offensive system. So I buy some of that you got to have players. I buy some of that.
And the Colts do the same thing. If you think about the Colts, you usually get a couple, no names.
Yeah. So I buy some of that. But I just think that it's all quarterback driven, man. And can Justin Fields be the guy that can take you to those levels of games, or can Caleb Williams take you or get you there? Now I've done a little bit of research on Caleb Williams. I read a scout's take. He broke down every one of Caleb Williams' college games, 36 games.
Okay.
He broke down every game. He said there's only been 2 other quarterbacks that have been in the same realm of how good Caleb Williams has been recently, and those quarterbacks were Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow.
Okay.
He said Caleb Williams is in that group of three.
That's impressive. Very impressive.
And then he had conversations with teammates. He had conversations with opponents who played against Southern Cal. There was nothing but great things that teammates said and opponents said about him. He was never a punk on the field. He was never he just came to play, and his teammates say he loves to play, he's a great leader.
And so the issue people up here in South Bend have is they saw probably one of his worst games he's ever had when he played Notre Dame.
Well, that Notre Dame game, that exposed every flaw that Southern Cal had.
Mm-hmm. And it wasn't necessarily him; it was the team around him.
It was receivers. It was the offensive line.
It was just a total breakdown.
But when you talk about him, so my take is this, because it all goes full circle for me. My take is this. I think I'm going to stay with this. I think that if you want to be a championship level team,
mm-hmm.
The Colts did it when they took Andrew Luck.
Right.
You got to take Caleb Williams.
I think so too. You can't pass him up.
No, because somebody else is going to get him, and it's going to be the same story with Patrick Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be the same story. I listened to an interview with Patrick Mahomes' dad. His dad was a professional baseball player.
Dad played for the Twins.
Played for the Twins and played for the Mets.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, we were the most shocked people in America because the word was that the Bears were taking Pat Mahomes, and Pat Mahomes wanted to go to the Bears. And then they said, when we saw that the Bears had moved up and traded up,
mm-hmm.
they were afraid that someone else was going to take Patrick, so they were celebrating. And then all of a sudden, they said
Trubisky.
Mitchell Trubisky. And they're going, what? Like all of us were.
Like we all were.
But
they still are.
Hey, we got another week to break down and handicap that Kansas City game.
Right.
We'll talk about another
it
week
next week. That's right.
We have another week to do that, and I'll be excited to do it. I just got right now Hoosier Basketball magazine. Hoosier Basketball, the great Gary Donna, who has put this together forever and ever. Gary's passed away. I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 years now.
Been a few years.
And his assistant Kip took over the magazine. Just brought this up to me. I'll tell you, man. So obviously they're on the newsstands now. $15. Let me see who we got on the cover. Jack Benner from Brownstown Central. Chloe Spreen from Bedford. Flory Badunga from Kokomo.
He's going to Kansas.
Jordan Poole from Fort Wayne Snyder.
I saw her play last year.
KJ Wyndham from Ben Davis.
Mm-hmm.
State champion last year at Ben Davis.
He was one of the few juniors that played last year.
Faith Wiseman from Indian Creek.
Haven't seen her play.
Well, this might be the time. Scotty needs to play our Purdue deal
pretty soon. Yeah,
because we got Zach Edey on the cover.
There's Zach Edey. Okay,
we got Zach.
There's 2 college players.
Yes. So hey.
Do you want me to hit it?
Patrick, not yet. Patrick and I are going to share this and read this, and we're going to thank Kip for giving this to us. This is really cool. So I got. So I don't know if you have these. I got a collection of these from whenever I started, man.
Right. I've got several from the late 60s into the 70s. They're probably collector's items.
Yeah, and I have them all.
I quit in the 80s when I went to Texas. I don't think I have any since the 80s.
I have every magazine for every year, and I'm just going to clue our listeners in on this one. 1970. The 1978 magazine, 77, 78 magazine.
Okay.
Larry Bird's on the cover. I don't remember who else, but if you turn to page 94, there's a picture of me in the magazine from Manchester College.
Oh boy.
So I've always told everybody, hey, 77, 78, me and Larry are
in the same magazine together. That's funny.
No, you might. So you might be in it.
If I'm
from
in
Anderson.
there, it would be in a commercial for Butler. for sitting
Well,
on the end of the bench.
No. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
okay.
right. That's
I would
right.
have been
We
in
were
the high
same
school
age.
ones, maybe.
Yes.
We
yes.
were in the 70. I think Roy Taylor was on the cover of the 73, 74 one because he was Mr. Basketball.
Yeah. So I have long hair and the whole thing, man. But
I'm
hey,
shocked.
beautiful.
Scott, run us through our commercials here. Take us a little break. We're going to come back. We'll talk about some college basketball and finish up with some high school basketball.
All right. So we will be taking a break here momentarily. Before we do, I want to give a shout out to mailrag.com/IND Coaches Corner. You see it there on the screen if you're watching, or if you're just listening on the podcast. Dad's wearing one. There you go.
No.
Yeah.
Wow, is that nice?
Didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead, Scott.
So get yourself one of those.
I was doing a Vanna White thing here. Go ahead.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Get yourself one of those. Use that promo code 10% off. Basically, it's free shipping. And if you're listening to us on the podcast, maelreg.com. And then we have magicmind.com/Ron. Use that code Ron, 20% off. So you don't support Big Pharma or whatever you believe in. So you're not addicted to memory pills or something like that.
We were going to do them earlier, but we
Magic
forgot.
Mind. No. So we should have had some Magic Mind when we set up today.
Yeah, so we know how to plug everything in.
Beautiful. Hey, Magic Mind, the best. All right.
Go support those people. We'll be right back.
Andy Kern is a real estate broker with Weichert Realtors Jim Dunphy and Associates. The office is locally owned but has big company resources behind it that many smaller real estate offices just don't have. Whether you're selling your fifth house or buying your starter home, Andy can help. He has 6 years of real estate experience and is a lifelong St. Joe County resident. Jim Dunphy and Associates has decades of local experience. Call or text broker Andy Kern at 574-386-4479 for great local service. He is the Colonel. James Carpenter is a real estate broker with Weichert Realtors Jim Dunphy and Associates. The office is locally owned, but it has big company resources behind it that many smaller real estate offices just don't have. Whether you're selling your fifth house or buying your starter home, James can help. James is a South Bend lifer and has 6 years of real estate experience. Jim Dunphy and Associates has decades of local experience. Call or text broker Jim Carpenter at 574-292-CARP. That's 292-2277 for great local service. Frick's Driving School has been named the best driving school in Michiana. Frick's was started in 1960 and is located on Edison Road in Mishawaka. If your child is 15, you can get them started at Frick's. There are multiple instructions available for your driving lessons. Check out the broadcastsport.net main page and click on the Frick's icon to get more information. There you can find out more information and instructions to enroll your new driver. Frick's Driving School, a proud sponsor of Coach's Corner on broadcastsport.net.
Courage Chiropractic and Wellness Center. When your body needs somebody to help.
Hello, I'm Dr. Karch, and I want to invite you to stop by my office on Cleveland Road in South Bend, just east of Portage Avenue. I've been serving Michiana for over 20 years, specializing in back pain, neck pain, headaches, naturally with gentle chiropractic care. Come see me for a free consultation.
Courage Chiropractic and Wellness Center. When your body needs somebody to help.
Oh, man. Are you kidding me? We are back in the Crow's Nest at Mishawaka High School. I got to do a basketball game shortly here between Mishawaka and Clay. We have the man that runs the cave here, the great Jimmy Flats. The cave is beautiful. It's his baby. Talk about the cave and how much pride you take in it, man.
Oh, every sporting event, this has to be looking great because it is the oldest gym in the state of Indiana. And I don't want somebody, it looks nice and shiny up here, but if you go on the floor and you see streaks, I'm sorry, there's people sitting down there and they can see that, and I don't like that one bit.
Yeah, no, that's why it is the best. Now, it's an older gym, but the fact that it's kept up so well, I think it looks awesome, man.
Well, with the remodel in 1958, you got to remember the baskets used to go east to west, and now they go north to south, and everywhere from the south basket on was added to the gym in 58. So, and they didn't miss a lick. It looks like it was built in 1924, exactly the way it is right now.
Did you play on that 58 team?
58 team. I'm an 85. My dad was a 58. I was an 85. He tried to make it easy on me so I could just flip flop.
So you have a brother that's is a Hall of Fame wrestling coach at Riley High School,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Talk about him for a minute.
Oh, he's been there since 1999 when the new school was built. He has a fantastic program. He basically is the only coach that coaches year round. And that's what makes his program good. That's why he has 33, 40 wrestlers every year, where this South Bend school has 5. This one has 7. This one has 6, because he coaches year round. When state finals are over with, they go into folk style wrestling. After that, they go into freestyle and Greco-Roman. And, you have your weeks you cannot do anything around the 4th of July and in August. But other than that, he's in there 2 times a week on the off season with his wrestlers and assistant coaches.
And you coach. I mean, so Pat and I, we were high school basketball coaches, and people said that we knew what we were doing. I'm not really sure we did, right?
Yeah, we faked it real well.
We did good. But Jimmy is, I mean, he coaches the Special Olympics.
I'm a 10-time state champion.
And Special
and
Olympics.
I throw it at him all the time. It's like, dude, I won
who's won the states, right?
I mean,
so talk about
that's 2 hands of rings right there. I mean,
talk about how long you've been doing that.
I started right after the international games at the University of Notre Dame. I was working 3rd shift at the time, and the teacher at John Young Middle School said, "Hey, would you mind coming over 2 times a week from like 9:30 to 11 during our gym time and coach basketball?" Well, at the time, my brother was at John Young, Steve Flatt, and we had 6 kids the first year. So if we got the flu, we were in trouble. I mean, that Saturday we could be hurting because we only had 6 on the bench. But that was the first year there, and 37 years later, I still have not won a gold medal in Special Olympics.
Oh man, I'm just so that's really special to my heart, because growing up, I had a sister that was mentally handicapped, and she's really 2 years older than me. She probably passed away maybe 15 years ago, but she and we always said this, and I'm pretty sure your family would have said this too, that God only knew special families could take care of special kids, and she was an absolute angel in our family, and there was never anything negatively associated with having her as a sister. With all of my brothers and my other sister, we would take her everywhere, and it was a really, really special thing for our family, which I know you feel the same way.
We were coming back from Culver, and Steve saw the sign to Elkhart, and he says, "Elkhart, Northside Gym, watch Mishawaka basketball." Last year, it was constantly Michigan City, Mishawaka basketball, and he listens to all your broadcasts. And, of course, he can't say Ron Hicklinski without Monica. He always has to say Monica.
Everybody says that.
He's a womanizer, let me tell you. But I know you started off the show by the big game yesterday.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, St. Joe County 3-on-3 basketball team beat Marshall Stark 10-4. And Steve Flatt, the kid that normally plays 2 minutes a game instead of 20, had to play the whole game and made 3 baskets.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
So he carried the team.
Okay, so this will be on Instagram. This is on Facebook. So I mean, you can pick this up tomorrow.
Yep, YouTube Live.
Let him listen to this, man. I mean, because I wasn't going to say the football games. I was going to talk about the basketball game.
About
you
your
talked
ball
about
game.
that was the big game of the day.
It was the big game.
It was a huge game of the day.
Taylor Swift. Come
on.
It's getting old.
Come on.
That's good.
Well, listen, man. Get this place ready to roll for this varsity game. Thanks for coming on, Jimmy, and thanks for all the things you do in this great building. I know they don't pay you enough, number one, and I know you're in here a lot more than what your time card says, but it's because you love this building, you love Mishawaka, and it holds a special place for you. I know that. Thank you very much.
No problem. I think the real reason why he invited me up here, the trash can's starting to get a little full, and he likes to take lunch up here. So I think that's the real reason.
Makes
he wanted me
sense
to dump
me.
the trash can.
Come up here and hide. This is his
man.
hiding place. Hey, thanks.
All right, thanks, Jimmy. That is as we take the headsets off, Jimmy. Thank you, sir.
All right.
That's the great Jimmy Flatt. His brother Steve Flatt Jimmy coaches him in Special Olympics, and it's really, really cool. Really cool.
And his brother over at Riley and I teach summer school together. So when I get over to back in the day, so when I go cover, Riley football games, he's up there in the press box running the clock. So we have a chance to reminisce a little bit.
That's pretty cool. Hey, let me talk about Tony and Hahn Funeral Home for a minute, then we'll get on college basketball, man.
Okay.
Tony Letcher at Health Markets Insurance. Whether you need help with your health insurance or Medicare, call the great Tony Letcher, as you see it on your screen right here, 574-307-8882, or visit tletcher.com. Hahn Funeral Home, Pat Hahn, family-owned business located at 505 West 8th Street, 574-255-1474. They're awesome. Anything you need related to any funeral home type of business, give them a call. They take care of families. Their experienced funeral directors and staff will be there for anybody every step of the way for all your funeral service needs. Beautiful, man.
That sounds good. Scott, we're going to talk about Frick's real quick. Frick's Driving School is also one of our sponsors, and I'm not driving this week because I've got ball games every night of the week. But again, call over at the station, get hold of Doug, then get your kids set up to drive. And I know right now, again, we're looking for drivers because we've got so many people. They've got like 350 kids enrolled right now, and there's 3 drivers.
Yeah, but so here's my question on that. I can't say I want to drive. I don't know. I'm not a good driver. How can I teach kids how to drive?
Well, a lot of it.
Wait. I am a good driver. It's my wife that says
you can teach people how to drive, even though you might not be the best driver. Think about that.
Well, I can dig that. So do you have to have a license?
You have to be state certified. So there is some training, some book work. I'm sure it's all online. But Scott, why don't you hit us with we'll transition into the Frick's Road Team of the Week, and then we'll also go into your new segment that you have too. How's that?
Oh boy, new segment. Woohoo. All right, here is your Frick's Road Team of the Week. Woo!
Like I said, only the best around here,
I love it, man.
So we're going to go with 2 different people. We should have done this last week. Pete Smith mentioned this last week, and I missed it. So it just happens the same 2 teams are going to be the road teams this week. You've still got to go with the Kansas City Chiefs. For them to go into Baltimore this week after what they did last week, 2 times here in a row, they've gone on the road. Patrick Mahomes, who has never been on the road before for a playoff game until this year, he's 2-0 on the road.
Yes, he is.
He's 2-0 on the road. So the Chiefs, for football, we're going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs. And the one I missed last week, Scott will transition to college basketball. Purdue Boilermakers went over to Rutgers. And as crazy as it sounds, what was their record, Scott? They were 2-5 against Rutgers in the last 7 games or something.
The last time they beat Rutgers in Piscataway was 2018.
Yeah. Which and you got to remember, that doesn't sound that long ago till you remember this 2020.
Yeah, but come on, man. Rutgers is 2 and forever.
It just shows you it's such a trap game.
They're 2-6. They're 10-9. I'll say something nice about Purdue.
Stop for a minute, Scott. And then we'll let Heck do his thing here about Purdue.
So here, let me give some context to this segment because it made me laugh last week when you guys had Pete on. You went through and talked about every team in Indiana except for the number 2 team in the country, who you just kind of mentioned in passing, like, oh yeah, IU lost to them. So I created a new segment. It's called Heck, Say Something Nice About Purdue. So here it is.
So, yeah, I got a lot of nice things to say about Purdue. I love Matt Painter. Matt Painter played at Delta High School when I was coaching at Wapahani, and played against my guys. So I love Matt Painter. I also love Zach Eddy, 26-12 against a 2-6 Rutgers team. 2-6? Are you kidding me? But here's the nicest thing I'm going to say. I believe that it's a different Purdue team because I believe that both Braden Smith and Fletcher Lawyer are a year older, and I think they're stronger. I think as the season goes on, they won't wear down as much. And obviously, I mean, a freshman I mean, they're going to wear down. They've never been in a Big Ten
Right.
season.
That's a long season.
And so when they get in that NCAA game and they get beat by, I don't even know who they got beat by, St. Peter's, Peter, Paul, or John.
Yeah.
One of those. One of those Saints.
One of the Beatles.
Yeah, one of the Saints, man.
Ringo.
And they can't. And they can't bust a grape because all 7 guys, and I mean 5 players and 2 officials are covering down on Zach.
Oh yeah,
and
they couldn't.
Nobody can hit
They couldn't make
three.
a shot. I know.
But now I think those 2 players, Braden Smith and Fletcher Lawyer, are a year older, and I think they're stronger. They're not going to wear down, and I think they are going to make shots.
Well, and this week Purdue's got a big week. Wednesday, Northwestern comes to town. If you remember, Northwestern, Purdue was number 1 for 2 days back in middle of December. They go up to Evanston and get beat. So that's one of Purdue's losses in the Big Ten. Purdue was number 1 in the country, but they were last place in the Big Ten that day because they were 0-1.
And the very next game for Northwestern, Chicago State. Chicago State. I don't even know if there's 300 NCAA Division I teams. I don't even know what the number is. Let's just say 300. Chicago State is rated 300.
They only beat Mishawaka by 5.
Yeah, Chicago State beat the game by 5. God, you're getting fun. You know what?
I couldn't help it.
You would never have made those comments a year ago. You're so.
Well, and
so
Sunday,
good on this show.
since right before the Pro Bowl's flag football game, you've got Purdue at Wisconsin. That'll be for first place.
Yeah, no, Wisconsin is in first place. Purdue's the better team, though.
Purdue's 1 loss behind them right now.
I mean, Braden Smith against Rutgers goes for 19, 3 for 5 from deep.
Yeah, and Fletcher Lawyer had 2 or 3.
Yeah,
he didn't score. He hit 5 free throws down the stretch that didn't even touch the rim, but they were huge pressure clutch free throws.
I mentioned that because he took a 3 and got blasted. Well, I don't know why he was 0 for 100 from 3-point range, and they fouled him on a 3 there in late in the game, and he makes all 3 free throws. And that was a big deal in the Rutgers game.
Yeah, it was. But again, Rutgers is 2-6, folks.
They've been good the last couple of years. Here's a thought I want to put into you guys' heads. If Braden Smith's 6 feet, 6'1", maybe. If he was 6'4", 6'5", he would be a top 10 pick in the draft.
He's pretty good.
I agree with you. And his high school coach was a guy named Shane Sumter, who was my assistant coach at Anderson High School for about 6 or 7 years. And Shane played at Frankton High School. He's been well coached. Now,
here's another thing I wanted to mention. You guys were talking about Chicago State. There are 362 Division I teams, according to Ken Palm. Chicago State is ranked 291.
Well,
they're in the bottom 100.
Well, no, you beat Northwestern. You move up a little bit.
That moved them up 50 spots.
You moved them up a little bit. When I was at Ball State, we played them 4 times during the season.
That's great scheduling.
Chicago State, 2 there, 2 in Chicago, man.
Great scheduling.
And then,
who's last?
And then you look where the Hoosiers are. They go to Illinois without Ware, the big center.
That's 2 games in a row they've missed him,
and they lose 70-62. But Illinois is pretty good.
Yeah. Well, Illinois right now they're in 3rd place. They have 3 losses. Purdue has 2 losses. Wisconsin has 1 loss.
And Indiana now is at 4-5 in the league, 12-8 overall.
Yeah, they're going to be a bubble team. They're going to have to have a good February because there's a bunch of teams right there between number 4 and number 10 that are all packed together right now in the Big Ten.
Xavier Johnson, I don't know. I mean,
dirty.
He's an 8th
year
player,
yeah,
6th year player,
6th or 7th year.
But he got ejected. I think over at Rutgers, he got ejected from the game. Yesterday, he gets a technical foul.
Yeah, just stupid stuff.
Yeah, you gotta control yourself. And if he gets a technical foul, his butt's got to come out of the game. He got to sit on the bench a little bit.
They teched him during halftime. They went back to the camera and watched because the play he got teched on was right at the buzzer. he scored, caught the ball, and just tossed it to the guy that he'd been jawing with.
So here's I'm sure we have a listener or two. Look up Tom Crean's numbers and send them to us.
And see how Tom Crean did at IU compared
because
to Woody.
As I remember, I thought Tom Crean had good success at IU.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden we fire him one day, and we bring in a guy who's 5'4", Archie Miller.
Because he was the favorite flavor of the month. Is basically he'd had a good season.
I mean, that day,
they bring him in from the MAC.
I mean, I'd like to go over Tom
American
Crean's
East
numbers,
or whatever they are,
because I thought Tom Crean was okay, to be honest with you.
Well, I was going to say, jumping conferences, the Big East. I went down to watch Butler last week play DePaul, and their DePaul coach gets fired the next day. And then this week, they're behind 17-3 in their game, and they come back and tied and end up winning in overtime against
Villanova.
Villanova, it's not the best Villanova team right now, and Butler's struggling. Butler's 5-5. Villanova's 4-5 right now. You've got number 1 UConn. They've got to go to UConn next week. Creighton's number is second, and Marquette. So you got UConn, Creighton, and Marquette sitting above them with Seton Hall and St. John's. Pitino's having a good season over at St. John's all of a sudden.
No, I mean, Rick Pitino's a pro.
Oh,
Come
sure,
on, man. Rick Pitino could coach anywhere, anytime.
But you got some good games Tuesday night, tomorrow night. Marquette and Villanova play. Providence, UConn, St. John's, Xavier, and so they got some games there. Talk about our boys over here down the street in the ACC. What are we going to do with Notre Dame? I'm looking at Notre Dame, and they are third from the bottom.
Yeah, I mean,
Louisville, Georgia Tech, and Notre Dame.
Well, they're 2-7 in league play, 7-13 overall. But at the end of the day, Notre Dame got to get some players.
Yeah,
and Coach Shrewsbury, Michael wasn't going to come in with the players that Mike Bray had and get anything done. I mean, if those players were good players, Mike Bray would still be
He'd still be there.
And Mike Bray knew what was coming back. He'd been here for so long. Time for him to make a change. But you can't judge Michael Shrewsbury on this year.
No.
Now next year he signed maybe 3 or 4 really, really good players coming in. Now starting next year, you can start to judge him. But I will say this much. I mean his guys play their guts out.
They do. They play hard.
They play really, really hard.
It's the Purdue mentality.
Yes.
No, I agree with you. I mean, Micah Shrewsbury and Matt Painter.
Well, look where he's been. He was with Brad Stevens. He was with the Celtics. He was at Butler. He's been at Purdue, Penn State. I mean, he has expectations.
I mean, back to Purdue, and then to Penn State.
Right.
I mean, he knows what he's doing.
But you've got North Carolina at the top. They're unbeaten in the conference right now.
They're number 3 in the country.
Yeah,
out there.
and Duke, who's number 7, has 2 losses, and you've got your first Duke Carolina game coming up Saturday.
Oh, man.
So you got Duke at North Carolina Saturday afternoon. So put that on your schedule. That should be a good one.
Tom Crean was 166 and 135 at Indiana. Woody so far is 56 and 34.
How many years was Tom Crean at Indiana?
Hang on, let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah, I swear he wasn't there for 9 years, but he had a good run.
Yeah,
then.
he did a good job.
Yeah, he had a good run.
He had no complaints. Well,
they were 6 and 25 his first year. So
exact first year.
I mean, you got to get your players.
Yes, you do.
And again, you got to get your players.
Get people in there.
Yep. High school.
Let's talk high school for 10 minutes, and you're going to have to go down here and take one headset off and go put another one on.
Hey, so girls basketball section, I can't believe it's sectional week
starts tomorrow night.
Yeah, that's why boys are playing on Thursday night.
Well, on tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
Boys are playing Monday, Thursday, and Saturday afternoon.
Exactly. So we have a Class 4A sectional at South Bend, Washington. And
it should be the South Bend Invitational.
Well, it is the South Bend Invitational, the Great Western Forum Invitational, as LaPorte at 2-18, play Adams at 12 and 10. Washington at 16 and 4 play Michigan City at 5 and 15. Mishawaka 10 and 12 will play Plymouth 10 and 12. Plymouth beat Mishawaka by 21 in the regular season.
Well, Mo Scott's at Adams now. He used to be at Washington back when Schuyler was playing.
Yeah.
And now 15 years later, he's over at Adams trying to get things going over there.
And Mo Scott will get it going.
Which is that's his alma mater.
Yeah, no.
He's an Adams boy.
I mean, he will get it going.
Yeah.
And obviously at South Bend, Washington, 4A, Washington's the favorite.
They're still the favorite.
I don't
New
think there's
Prairie's the
any question.
favorite over at their sectional.
I think there's a great sectional at Northridge.
Northridge section will be a dandy. You got Northridge, you got Warsaw right off the bat tomorrow.
Yeah, Northridge 21 and 3.
And then you got Penn in the bottom part of the bracket.
Against Concord 9 and 12, Penn 16 and 6. Then you got Elkhart 13 and 9 versus that winner, and you got Goshen versus the Penn Concord winner.
Yeah, the top of that bracket's loaded. With the Warsaw Northridge game is supposedly going to be the good one, and I believe that's tomorrow night.
The favorite, too close to call, man.
Yeah, I think it is.
There's one
tuned.
more. There's one more we'll talk about. Who cares about the sectional of Rochester? At New Prairie.
Amy Litka.
Yeah, no, and she had a great basketball playing career. She coached over at Holy Cross,
Right.
College.
State
And,
finals in high school.
Yes.
St. Joe.
Yeah. Mishawaka Marion at South Bend Clay versus South Bend Clay at New Prairie. Who cares?
It's New Prairie's to lose.
New Prairie versus Jimtown. New Prairie 18 and 5. Jimtown 9 and 13. South Bend St. Joe 7 and 15. Obviously, New Prairie's the winner, but I gotta ask you this.
Okay.
This is making me laugh.
All right.
I'm laughing all the way to I don't even know where I'm going, but the St. Joe Buffaloes, the St. Joe Huskies.
I called them to go ahead.
Or
Your
the
school
St. Joe
names.
Rams.
I still think they should have the St. Joe Joeys, kind of like the St. John's Johnnies.
I said the St. Joe Saints.
Yeah.
But I don't know. If
Nobody
that's
asked us, did they?
Well, no, I don't know if that's too close to Holy Cross College Saints. but
So, big deal.
the Buffaloes? We could have
Why?
a Buffalo running around the court dressed up as
Colorado, is that a Deion Sanders thing now?
the Huskies or the Rams?
They're trying to be so neutral and so politically correct. They don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
They never called us, did they?
No. They knew better because they knew what we'd tell them.
Unbelievable.
They need to be the Indians.
See, Anderson Indians, right?
Yeah.
Anderson Indians.
St. Joe Indians. What was wrong with that?
I
It
don't
could
know.
be the Friars.
Indies, Braves. That could be the Friars. That's not a bad one.
Yeah.
Or is St. Joe Franciscan?
St.
The
Joe
Bi-
Franciscans.
Bishops.
Or the
St. Joe
Bishops?
Carmelites.
Good.
Bishops wouldn't be bad.
Crusaders.
Knights.
Crusaders.
The Knights are already Knights. Yeah.
Yeah. Buffaloes.
Come on now.
Something to do with Catholic.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
There's plenty of There's plenty of names that can be had, and
Why do we
they're
gotta have
everywhere.
animals? Why do we got to have an animal?
I don't know. High school boys. We got to get you out of here in 8 minutes or less.
You're good. They'll hold the game up for me.
Long national anthem. We'll tell them to play it slow.
We got it.
Concord, they've got here in the area, they've got Concord as the best team in the area. They're doing the eye test. You got the newspaper anyways. So we're going to compare the South End Tribune to our opinions. How's that? They've got Concord as the best team in the area. We've got them as number 8.
Yeah, based on
Strength of schedule. They've got Penn number 2. We've got Penn number 2. They got Riley number 3. We've got Riley number 1. Strength of schedule. Because both Penn and Riley played some pretty good teams during Christmas time.
Yeah.
So there you go.
By the way, we both did the Penn Riley.
We saw Penn and Riley, and we could talk about that for a little bit. Penn changed defenses, and Riley never adjusted.
Middle of the second quarter, Penn went to a Cowboy 2-3.
Yeah, it wasn't very good.
No.
It was a kind of a matchup 2-3.
Yeah.
And so forth.
That maybe Coach Kuhlman said, hey, at a timeout, we never played a 2-3, but let's get into it.
Get in it. Let's see if they change. See if they do anything different. Number 4, they've got Northwood. We've got Northwood at number 7. They've got Northridge at 5. We got them at 5. They've got Mishawaka at 6. We've got them at 10. Strength of schedule. St. Joe, they've got at number 7. St. Joe's number 3 in the power ratings.
Yeah, no, exactly.
And
put this list together. You need to bring him on and fight him.
that's okay. I know Austin. We talk. He does a great job with the newspaper. Getting
Oh, is it Huff?
Yeah,
We already had him on. Let's have him back on.
we should. He's got Mishawaka Marion at number 8. We've got him at number 4. And then he's got John Glenn and Fairfield just to get those people to buy newspapers because they're not even in the top 15.
Exactly.
Well, all we did was take the power ratings, and these teams here, we are between 84 and 78, so they're all within 6 points of each other. And the ones that really surprise you, if you think about it, are St. Joe and Marion, because record-wise, they're both, a couple games above 500, but their strength of schedule, come tourney time, they're going to be hard to beat.
Exactly.
And the names we didn't mention was Adams. We did not mention Washington. Washington's lost 5 in a row. They got to get that taken care of.
Yes, they do.
So we'll see. So that's all I know for right now.
So what games do you have this week?
This week, tomorrow, actually, I've got a boys' game. I've got Elkhart Christian is at Jimtown. So I'm going to do that on Broadcast Sport here on our Broadcast Sport website. Wednesday, I'm going South Bend, Washington for that sectional. Thursday, I'm back at Jimtown for Adams and Jimtown. And then Friday, I go to West Noble to do the girls sectional, which is like an hour and I think I looked it up. It's an hour and 20 minutes from my house.
Are they paying your mileage?
We've got to negotiate that one.
Northwood's
girls are over there, as is Fairfield, which should be a pretty good sectional Friday night and Saturday night. So we're going over there to cover that one with Northfield. Fairfield state champs last year in 3A.
Jim Harbaugh, Los Angeles Chargers.
Part of the Chargers.
Great move.
Not a surprise.
Not a surprise. His offensive coordinator, Coach Moore, takes over for him. Good move. We'll see.
Good move. Yep. I think
we'll see how long that lasts.
So we'll be back next week. We'll talk some more basketball. We'll get ready for the Super Bowl.
One comment from our guy Q.
Okay.
He says lame proposed nicknames, the latest example of why politics and sports should be far apart from each other. Regarding the St. Joe name change.
Well, as soon as they let the Indians put the war dance back on the court, we'll have something to talk about.
Yeah, because we don't have the war dance at Anderson anymore, but we still have the Indian.
They still have the Indian.
We still have the Indian. All right, hey,
we're good.
Great show, Pat. You're the best, Scott.
Thanks,
as usual,
flying in
great
wherever.
production. And we will see you next week from Bar Louie.
We'll be at Bar Louie next week.
A lot of great stuff to talk about. College football, coaches moving around, things like that.
College basketball, gotta love it.
I got to go down and do my second job
today, headsets. All right, get them.
All right,
see you guys. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, do all that. See you next week.
Thanks, Scott.